This is 45 paperback children's books. And this is 10 hardcover books. And finally, 10 paperback books. But why am I showing you these books? What is the reason? Well, the reason is I want to make it clear what you should and shouldn't do on Vinted. Well, actually, you can do all of these things, but I have discovered over the last 6 months that there is one little category which nobody should try and sell for some very, very obvious reasons. Let's get into them. So why am I showing you this? What is the point? Well, the point is that lot and that lot, 20 books. Average sale price, about £1.50. 20 times £1.50, 30 quid. So a potential £30 sales for those two little stacks there. How long will they take to sell? Who knows? Some of them might go in hours, days, weeks, months. They will sell, but you know, I would assume 2 months on average to get a book shifted through El Vintido. The kids' books, we've got 45 of them, £1 each, but the average sale price in them is about 80 pence. So 4/5 of 45, need to take 9 off of that, don't we? So that's £36 approximately for that little stack there, compared to £30 for the big stack at the back. That's worth more money than that. But also need to consider how long it takes to pick, pack, process all of these books. Now, 20 normal books takes me about half an hour to get listed. Sometimes it's a wee bit more, sometimes it's a wee bit less. It just depends how efficient I am at the moment in time. And whatever it takes me to list them, I rule of thumb, double that to know how much time it's going to take me to fully process them out the door once they've sold, you know, to pick, pack and get posted off. So an hour's worth of effort for the two stacks at the back there to make about 30 quid back in. Yeah, an hour for 30 quid. From that, we need to deduct the cost of goods, roughly 25 pence a book, so there's about a fiver to come off of that, so that takes us down to 25. Packaging costs, you don't pay for postage because it's Vinted and the customer obviously pays for that, but you do have to pay for your packaging costs. And I assume about 10 pence per book. Some will go in bundles, so it comes down a wee bit. The ones that go in their own, it's actually a wee bit more because I've got bag and bubble wrap or whatever I'm using to get them all put together, plus the cost of labels. All of these wee things become quite significant when you're selling stuff for £1, £2 each. So 20 books at 10 pence a pop for packaging, that's another couple of quid to come off of there. So where were we at? We were at 30, we knocked off a fiver, we've knocked off £1. So £24 for about an hour's work on that lot there. Yeah, they'll take however long they take to sell. And you can see from that little stack, and you know, look at the shelves behind, that's getting onto a full bookshelf for those 20 books. So you only need a full shelf to deal with them. The kiddies' books, 45 of them, listed easily in an hour. I did time doing this lot earlier on and then forgot to hit stop on the timer. Yeah, that's me. But I think it was about 50 minutes to list that lot, but I'm just going to call it an hour to keep it simple. Now, the rule of thumb for shipping, my daddy is hilarious, is different from the hardcovers and the paperbacks, the normal books, because people buy these in bundles. And when somebody wants to buy 6-10 books at a time, the packing becomes an awful lot less. So it's about half the listing time is what I assume for picking, packing and shipping on these punters. So we were at an hour, so another half hour onto that. So we're at about an hour and a half. So it has taken longer than the two big stacks at the back, but only by half an hour. And what did we say we were at? £36 coming back in. The 36, I pay about 10 pence a book for kids' books. So if we've got 45, £4.50, let's call it a fiver, just so we're not messing about with pennies in there. That leaves us with £31. And then because 45 books, it's probably going to be 5 or 6 packages to get that lot out. So 50, 60 pence, but we'll call it a whole pound just for simplicity. So we were at 36. We took off a fiver in cost, and we took off a pound in shipping costs. So that's us down to 30 quid for that bundle there for about an hour and a half. So we've got 30 quid for an hour and a half. We've got, what was it, 24 for an hour. Which is the better option? You need to decide that yourself. But there's one other criteria to take into account, which we've mentioned already with the boys at the back. It could take potentially months to get all of those sold. These guys will go much, much quicker. A few of them will hang around for a while, but most of these typically sell within a week. No, maybe 2/3 of them will be gone within a week, and usually quite a few go within a day or two. So they take up less space. They make you slightly less on an hourly rate, but they will make it an awful lot quicker. So do the math for yourself, work it out for yourself. I strongly believe that nobody should sell kids' books on Vinted. They sell quickly, they don't take up much space, and they get you, above minimum wage return on the processing of them. Obviously not taking into account sourcing time and such like for either of these categories as well, just keeping it to the basics. Once you've actually got the books, what does it take to fully process them, from sorting, listing, putting away, picking, packing, and getting shipped out the door. Decide for yourself. What I will do is come back and add a little bit at the end of this video on Sunday morning. Today is Friday. These were listed on Friday morning, the kids' books. I'm trying to move the camera to show you them, forgetting I have turned the camera around to look at me, so that's not going to work. But the kids' books were listed this morning, Friday morning. I'll come back on Sunday and we'll see how many, if any of them, have sold and for how much, just to quantify this a little bit better. But yet nobody else should sell kids' books on Vinted. They don't take up much space, and you want to have lots of space taken up with all your beautiful books. They're dead easy to find, and nobody wants the easy to find stuff. You want to go out and find those rarities that are going to make you more money. And charity shops get so many of them that they typically can't do anything with them, and the ones that they do put out just become a reading corner for kiddies whilst mummy or granny or auntie is having a browse around the shop. So they get all dog-eared and tatty on the shop floors very, very quickly. So yeah, charity shops don't like dealing with them as a rule. The ones that I've spoken to might be different in your area, which means that usually there's a deal to be got just to take them off their hands. It also does not work putting out a few wee flyers in your local area saying you're looking for kids' books. Doesn't work. Don't try it. Nobody will message you and say, oh, I've got 20 of the things here, and you can go and give them offer them a couple of quid for what they've got. And yeah, sometimes they often don't even want the money, they just want the books gone. So that doesn't work either for sourcing these. Don't try it. Camera was getting a bit drunk there, wasn't it? That's what happens when I don't concentrate on what I am doing. So yes, on Vinted, stick to big, chunky, low value hardcovers and paperbacks. Do not go out and find a few hundred cheap, good condition, or very good condition I should say, children's books and list all of them, because you'll just sell them. You don't want to do that. You want to collect these things. That's why we're here. Storage business. We like to collect stuff and store it, and that's what we're going to do. I should also point out that you do not want to be picking up children's hardcover books either. These sell just as badly as the paperback books, and for about the same price. So avoid these at all costs. They take up way more space than the paperback books. I mean, look how thick that spine is. It's ridiculous. So avoid these guys as well. You know, these interactive books, yeah, ignore them. They won't do you any favours. They'll just sit on your shelf for a couple of days and then somebody will buy them. You will get no pleasure from them whatsoever. Avoid, definitely avoid. And that takes us back to My Daddy Is Hilarious. Strangely enough, today would have been my dad's birthday. Curiouser and curiouser. Anyway, I'll be back in a couple of days, or from your point of view, a couple of seconds, and we'll see how many of this little bundle actually sold over, well, most of the weekend. What's up, peeps? Sunday morning. It's been 2 whole days for me, but obviously only a couple of seconds for you. The bundle of 45 books, we've sold 13 of them. So, nearly a third have gone in, well, that's less than 2 days to be honest. So yeah, definitely stay away for the kids' books. They sold not in 13 orders, but over 1, 2, 3, 4 different orders. One bundle of 4 that was just those, then another 2 bundles of 4 that were mixed up in much larger orders, and then a single book again mixed up in a larger order. So yeah, stay away for the kids' books. Don't try and sell them. They're all mine. Bye.